Why all the list of Diddy's alleged victims keeps getting longer and longer? Cause someone tell me why rapper The Game just exposed Diddy for allegedly trying to set Drake up to be unived because they had a tiny beef girl. What yo, at this point, it seems like Diddy is a major level villain in Hollywood, and The Game is not holding back on his tea. He went into extreme details about what Diddy did and how lucky Drake was to have escaped with his life. Y'all better sit tight for this drama, honey, because Diddy is about to get into some more trouble. Okay, if you're wondering why The Game would snitch on Diddy like this, it's because he also has his own Diddy story to tell. While he isn't officially listed as one of Diddy's victims, he has previously spoken up about his experience with Diddy and how Diddy went above and beyond to try to make him his boy toy, and how lucky he was to get away from Diddy's control when he did. And before you all start talking about how Game is making things up a clout now that Diddy has been arrested. And it's big news that is not the case. The Game has been trying to warn us about Diddy for a hot minute now, before Cassie even filed her lawsuit. One of the first instances was when he hinted that Diddy was on the DL, talking about how he personally knows a particular DL rapper who tries to hide his sexuality by being a womanizer and keeping many women around him.
So you think that you've worked with a gay rapper?
Yeah, man. And gay, not being just full out gay, but hiding and trying to pretend like he, loves girls and lives the rap lifestyle, but really, he's a man fan.
He's a man fan?
Yeah. There's a lot of man fans out there in hip-hop.
The latest episode of Drink Champs sent shockwaves through the hip-hop community, particularly due to revelations made by The Game about his past relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. As fans tuned in, many immediately recalled previous accusations that have long surrounded Diddy, but The Game's candid remarks added fresh fuel to the fire. What unfolded during the interview suggested that Diddy's interest in The Game may have extended beyond mere business. Back in the early 2000s, when The Game was still carving out his niche in the rap scene alongside his older brother, known in the streets as Big Face, they were hustling hard to establish their names. The duo was focused on creating mixtapes and demos, hoping that one of them would catch the attention of influential industry figures. It appears they achieved their goal when one of their tapes ended up in Diddy's hands. According to The Game, Diddy showed immediate interest, claiming he was ready to sign him to his renowned label, Bad Boy Records. However, instead of finalizing the deal, Diddy reportedly strung The Game along for an astonishing 2 years. During this time, The Game continued to chase his dreams, but the prolonged wait for Diddy to deliver on his promises left him feeling frustrated and disillusioned. Eventually, the tides turned when Dr. Dre signed The Game to his own label, Aftermath Entertainment, giving the aspiring rapper the break he had long been waiting for. But the question remains, why did Diddy keep The Game hanging for so long? The implications of The Game's statements indicate that Diddy may have had ulterior motives. While The Game didn't explicitly accuse Diddy of anything nefarious, he hinted that Diddy had made advances towards him that were far from professional. This revelation draws parallels to earlier comments made by 50 Cent, who famously claimed that Diddy once tried to take him on a shopping spree, treating him as if he were an Instagram model. The Game seemed to confirm this narrative, stating that Diddy pulled a similar stunt on him, which raises eyebrows and questions about Diddy's intentions in the industry. As The Game continued to spill the tea, listeners couldn't help but connect the dots between Diddy's behavior and the broader culture within the music industry. The notion that a powerful figure like Diddy, with his extensive connections and influence, might leverage those advantages in personal pursuits adds another layer of complexity to the story. This isn't just a tale of ambition and broken promises. It touches on themes of power dynamics, exploitation, and the often murky waters of relationships in the entertainment business. Following these revelations, many fans and critics began to reflect on the implications of The Game's narrative. It opens the floor for a deeper discussion about industry veterans' responsibilities towards emerging artists and the ethical boundaries that should exist in those relationships. The Game's experience serves as a cautionary tale, showcasing the potential pitfalls young artists face when navigating their careers in an industry where personal and professional lines can blur. Moreover, this episode highlights the necessity for transparency and accountability within the music business. With The Game's revelations, there may be an opportunity for other artists to share their stories, potentially igniting a larger conversation about the pressures and challenges faced by those trying to make their mark in a competitive landscape. In the end, The Game's appearance on Drink Champs has not only reignited discussions about Diddy's past, but has also brought to light the struggles many artists face when pursuing their dreams. It serves as a reminder that the road to success is fraught with obstacles, and sometimes the people you trust can complicate your journey in unexpected ways. As fans digest these revelations, the narrative continues to evolve, proving once again that in the world of hip-hop, the stories behind the music can be just as captivating as the tracks themselves.
I started kicking it with Diddy, right? I ran around with Diddy for 2 years, damn near. And this nigga Diddy, we never went to the studio one time, but he was like, yo, I fuck with your demo, that shit. You know, bad boy, but hey, Playboy, hey, here go a watch, Playboy, here go a chain, Playboy. I'm like, yo, we ever gonna rap? He like, nah,
y'all was doing it for 2 years.
Yo, but the jet leaves at 5. We going to Miami, Playboy. We going to, you know what I'm saying? We going to New York. We in ATL this weekend, Playboy, pop out. And I was going everywhere with Diddy. And then one day, this Diddy, me and Diddy was smoking. He was like, you know what? Like he was really about to just give me some major game, right? He like, you know what I've been thinking? You belong with Dr. Dre. I'm like, no, you don't say.
The revelations surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and the game continue to stir up controversy, especially following the game's recent appearance on Drink Champs for 2 long years. The game found himself strung along by Diddy, who lured him into a web of promises that never materialized. Rather than heading into the studio to create music together, Diddy indulged the game in a lavish lifestyle, flying him around the country and showering him with expensive gifts. This treatment made the game feel like an Instagram model basking in the glow of a luxurious life, but behind the glitz, there were darker undertones that began to surface. As the game recounted these experiences, the narrative took a turn for the messier when his brother, known as Big Face, threw some serious shade on social media. He posted a picture of Diddy and the game looking exceptionally cozy, alongside a caption that read, "Maybe it wasn't my street credibility." This seemingly innocent photo quickly escalated into rampant speculation. Fans and commentators began to wonder if Diddy and the game had a deeper relationship during those 2 years, a suggestion that would not only complicate their business dealings, but also hint at something more intimate. The underlying tension intensified the discourse around why Diddy might have let the game slip through his fingers. When the game expressed reluctance to continue an intimate relationship with Diddy, many believed their business potential ended. The game's comments hinted at a wealth of information he wasn't fully disclosing. The intricacies of their relationship raised questions about the boundaries of mentorship versus manipulation in the music industry. The game's statements did not stop at his own experiences. He also delved into a shocking allegation regarding another hip-hop superstar, Drake. In an interview with Vlad TV, the game recounted a time when tensions between Diddy and Drake reached a boiling point, suggesting that a hit was put out on Drake following a physical altercation between the two. According to the game, this incident revealed a much darker side of Diddy, one that involved serious threats and potentially lethal consequences for those who crossed him. The intertwining of these narratives paints a troubling picture of power dynamics within the industry. It raises important questions about how personal relationships can impact professional decisions, especially when the stakes are high. The game's account not only highlights the glitzy facade of the music world, but it also exposes the undercurrents of danger and betrayal that frequently lie beneath. Fans and industry insiders alike began to speculate about the implications of these claims. If the game's allegations hold any truth, it underscores a need for more scrutiny regarding the interactions between established artists and newcomers. The blurred lines between friendship, mentorship, and potential exploitation cannot be ignored, as they can have lasting effects on an artist's career and personal life. Moreover, the unfolding drama has sparked discussions on social media, with fans dissecting every detail and expressing their shock and outrage. The meme culture surrounding hip-hop adds another layer to the conversation, as fans quickly turned Big Face's post into fodder for humorous commentary, while simultaneously acknowledging the serious undertones of the narrative. As the fallout from the game's revelations continues, it serves as a reminder of the complex relationships that define the music industry. The pursuit of fame can often come with unexpected costs, and for some artists, the very people who offer mentorship may harbor ulterior motives. As more details emerge, it's clear that this saga is far from over, leaving fans eager to hear what the game or Diddy might say next. In conclusion, the game's experience with Diddy is not just a tale of broken promises and lavish gifts, it's a cautionary story about the dangers of navigating the treacherous waters of the music business. As these narratives unfold, they serve to highlight the importance of transparency and ethics within the industry, urging a collective reflection on the relationships that shape the careers of countless artists.
About how you found out that they're trying to set up Drake in LA at one point. What exactly was that about?
That was about like him and Diddy were beefing, right? They had a little beef over something in Miami outside of Live.
I think Diddy allegedly assaulted him or something. I think it was over the Start From the Bottom beat, where I guess it's supposed to go to Diddy and Drake took it and something silly like that.
Yeah, I mean, when I think about Started From the Bottom, I don't know what Diddy would have did with that beat.
I know.
It's like a Drake beat. But there were like calls, going around LA, and it was like, Drake here, Drake there, who will run up on him. I'm not saying it, it didn't come from Diddy directly, but LA get tricky. So, when there are beefs and they are here, no matter who it is, like there's certain people that are gonna get called, and I'm one of those people. So, I had privy, Drake to a little information. Like I said, I don't know where it came from, but I always, it's like my brother. So I hit him. I told him like, yo, this is what it is, but I got you. We over here, and I'm pretty heavy, so we straight.
Now, the game was smart enough to say that he didn't know if the hit had come from Diddy himself, because we all know the stories that have come out about how Diddy has allegedly been bragging about how he makes people disappear. So the last thing the game needed was for Diddy to go after him for spilling tea on him. Interestingly enough, the game also hinted about this in his song 100, where he rapped, "Ninjas called me to set you up, want me to come and wet you up cause you out of town ninja." Like Biggie heard about that ish with Diddy, so I came through the VU up, and I got a vest for 40, a vest for Hush. A vest for every ninja with an owl on his chest. And what, in case y'all didn't catch the owl reference, it's about Drake and his OVO label. So yeah, the song was a warning to Drake to be careful with Diddy because he allegedly had a target on his back. So did Diddy really put a hit out on Drake? Well, for one, we know that Diddy liked to go after his ops unprovoked, even though they weren't actively beefing at the time. For example, in Cassie's lawsuit, she exposed him for allegedly trying to pull up on Sue Knight for no reason. The intense vitriol that accompanied Mr. Combs' ascent to fame was also experienced by Miss Ventura. For instance, one day when Mr. Combs and Miss Ventura were using Doctor together at his house, a member of his security detail stormed in and declared that Mr. Combs' longtime rival Suge Knight had been spotted at Mel's Drive-In Diner in Los Angeles. Mr. Combs began to get dressed, retrieved multiple guns from a safe, and ran out of his home to where he believed Mr. Knight was dining. Miss Ventura became terrified and began to cry. Child did he was cray-cray, and if he was willing to pull up on Sue Knight like that with no other warning. Who's to say what else he did? I mean, he also allegedly. The drama surrounding Sean Diddy Combs and Drake reached new heights with recent revelations that delve into the tensions between the two hip-hop titans. At the heart of this conflict appears to be Diddy's girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. According to various insider reports, Diddy's ire was ignited by Drake's flirtatious behavior towards Cassie during a night out. According to reports, the incident took place in a VIP area where the two were mingling. Witnesses claim that Drake, fueled by alcohol, was being excessively forward with Cassie, despite her attempts to deflect his advances. It became clear that Diddy was not going to stand idly by while Drake crossed a line. At one point, Diddy approached the pair and politely asked Drake to tone it down, emphasizing that Cassie was his girlfriend and they were in love. However, the response he received from Drake was less than respectful. Sources noted that Drake laughed dismissively at Diddy's words, signaling a lack of regard for Diddy's feelings. Later that evening, outside the popular Miami nightclub Live, the situation escalated. Diddy, evidently frustrated by Drake's disrespect, approached him again, this time with fists flying. Witnesses reported that Diddy landed a powerful punch, sending Drake reeling. The impact of the blow was so severe that Drake appeared wobbly on his feet, requiring the support of his friends to avoid collapsing. The altercation was sudden and shocking, with onlookers taken aback by the ferocity of Diddy's response. However, differing accounts of the altercation have emerged. One source suggested that the underlying tension was not solely about Drake's flirtation with Cassie, but also involved a dispute over music rights. According to this narrative, the conflict stemmed from allegations that Drake had taken rights to a beat from Diddy, which he subsequently used for his hit song Started From the Bottom. This potential music industry betrayal could have fueled Diddy's anger, adding another layer of complexity to their already fraught relationship. Following the physical confrontation, it was reported that Diddy left the club with an air of determination, heading straight to his car. Drake, on the other hand, emerged from his SUV, leading to a brief scuffle between the two. Observers noted that during this altercation, Drake seemed to sustain an injury, clutching his shoulder as if it were dislocated. His pain was evident, adding to the drama of the evening, as Diddy reportedly shouted something along the lines of "handle your business." He turned and re-entered the club, leaving Drake and his entourage behind. The aftermath of the encounter left many questioning what would happen next between the two superstars. The idea that a simple flirtation could escalate into a physical confrontation speaks volumes about the volatile nature of relationships in the entertainment industry, where personal and professional boundaries often blur. Fans and insiders alike began speculating about the long-term implications of this incident. Would this altercation lead to a more pronounced feud between Diddy and Drake, or would it serve as a wake-up call for both parties? The hip-hop community is no stranger to rivalries, but this particular situation stands out due to the personal stakes involved. Cassie, caught in the crossfire, also finds herself in a complicated position, given her long-standing relationship with Diddy and the ramifications of Drake's flirtation. The incident highlights the pressures that come with fame and the challenges of maintaining personal relationships in a world where public perception can shift rapidly. As the dust settles, fans eagerly await the next moves from both Diddy and Drake. Will they address the altercation publicly, or will it become a silent chapter in their complicated histories? For now, the hip-hop world watches closely as this saga continues to unfold, illustrating the intricate web of love, rivalry, and ambition that defines the lives of its most prominent figures. With both artists at the top of their game, the implications of their actions could reverberate throughout the industry, influencing not just their careers but the landscape of hip-hop itself. Would be an all-out brawl like the one his entourage had with Chris Brown's crew in New York, and someone would get hurt. Another witness said Drake and Diddy got into it outside the club. They were arguing over rights to a song and got into a physical fight. Diddy claimed that Drake was using music. Without the proper rights, things were pretty tense between them for a while after that, and from what the game is saying, Diddy. The recent allegations of disrespect have clearly ruffled some feathers, particularly for Diddy, whose notorious temper and inflated ego make it plausible that he could resort to extreme measures, even attempting to harm someone like Drake. As this tumultuous chapter unfolds, we can anticipate a wealth of intriguing revelations about Diddy and his past antics emerging over the next 3 to 6 months. The ongoing drama surrounding him is bound to capture public attention, with various accounts and insights likely shedding light on his complex personality and the controversies he's been embroiled in. For the producers of the forthcoming documentary series, it's crucial to have their team on standby around the clock, ready to capture every twist and turn of this saga. The coming months promise not only sensational stories but also a deeper exploration into the man behind the headlines, ensuring that audiences remain engaged and informed. They wanted to kill Drake in as many ways as possible. Drake has repeatedly been set up to fail despite Diddy and all of his bottom feeders' attempts to discredit and undermine him through internal politics, beefing disputes, and criticism. He has consistently overcome all of this, proving that truly iconic talent cannot be stifled. Please share your thoughts about this in the comments section below, and then watch the next video.